Yo, Goosey checking in to give you a little coverage on the last card of the year. It's not going to be a UFC card, but it is a pretty big one nonetheless. We got the crossover event Bellator versus Rizin. Bellator, arguably the number two promotion. Rizin doing their own thing in Japan, definitely very popular over there. This event is going to take place at the Saitama Super Arena in Japan. That adds a little bit to it for sure. And I think we're in for a good one. It's going to be midday. I think they're showing it on Showtime again at 8 p.m. Eastern time, New Year's Eve, so December 31st. Let's jump into it. Starting off, I'm seeing a lot of people really expect the Bellator fighters to go in there and do well. If you look at the lines, they're favored in almost, I think, every fight on the main card, all five. I see people doing parlays with those main guys, and I would be very surprised if all five of them won, just because there are a few factors. I know Bellator probably has the better competition, but stylistically, there are definitely some matchups that are going to be tricky. And then outside of the matchups, it's going to be in Rizin, which they use a ring similar to boxing. They do 5 ropes instead of 3 for a little bit more stability, but nonetheless, it's not like you can go and hold someone up against the cage and work your takedown from there. If you get taken down, it's not like you can go to the cage and work your way up. The ring is definitely going to be a factor, and I think it will affect the Bellator guys that aren't used to fighting in a ring. If they get taken down, it will be hard to get back up. And like I said, they can't go up against the cage to stop takedowns. So that adds a factor. And then, I mean, we've seen a lot of strange decisions in 2022. I wouldn't be surprised if that trend continues, given that Rizin is sort of the pride of Japan, and this fight will be taking place in Japan. I think that if there is a close decision, don't be surprised if the judges are leaning in the Rizin fighters' direction. But jumping into it, we have some pretty notable fights, especially on the main card. But we'll start in the prelims. There are guys like Justin Tafa fighting. I'm not 100% confident in that matchup. That's 2 big heavyweights that are going to go in there, swang and bang. But Tafa is a slight underdog. I could see him getting it done inside. One of our guys, Geeks Chat alum John Dodson, he is making the trip over to Japan. He's fighting, and I think he's going to get a knockout. He's fighting a guy on the older end of his career. So is John Dodson, but that explosiveness is still there. He's still electric, and he's got pop in his hands. I think he gets it done inside in this one. But jumping into the main card, the first fight on the main card is going to be Godsey Rabadanov versus Koji Takeda. And I think Godsey's going to get it done here. He's definitely fought better experience. I think stylistically this matchup goes well for him. Koji has struggled against top tier competition, and that's what Godsey is. He's had his ups and downs in his career, but when he's lost, it's been to very elite competition, and then he's on a good stretch recently. So I think Godsey gets it done there. Not too much to talk about, but that's going to be my pick. Next up, we got Juan Archuleta versus Soo Chol Kim. This fight is where it gets interesting because Juan Archuleta, I think he's a minus 180 favorite in this one. Stylistically, he's going to be looking for the big shot. He's going to be looking for the power punches, and Kim is going to be the one coming forward with more volume, looking to get the grappling going and really mix the martial arts. Juan Archuleta, he's trying to hit power shots and get you out of there. But the problem is he's on the older end of his career. He's been going to decision in these fights. And I think if this fight goes to decision, Soo Chol Kim is going to have the more volume throughout. He's going to be trying to push the grappling. And I believe the judges will go his way if this one goes to decision just based on those factors. So Soo Chol Kim by decision. That's going to be my pick there. We're going to move up the card to Kyoji Horiguchi versus Hiromasa Kubo. That I really butchered that, but tough name to pronounce. Give me the benefit of the doubt there. I'm going to go with Kyoji Horiguchi. They fought twice before, and Kyoji's won. The last time was a little bit closer of a decision, and Horiguchi's in the minus 600s. I think after a bad knockout last year, I can't really justify that, especially if this one does go to decision. In Japan, Rizin fighter that he's fighting against, I could see a potential robbery here. That one is going to be on robbery alert, according to Goosey. Moving up the card, we got Patricio Freire, Pitbull, one of the more famous Bellator fighters, versus Kleber Koik Erbst. Erbst is good. He's fought some good competition. His last loss was against a notable opponent in Mateusz Gamrot. It was a few years back. Since then, he's been riding a pretty good streak. And this is a fight that Patricio is going to be minus 500. He's expected to win, and I think it could be close. But I'm gonna say Pitbull gets the second round TKO in this one. I think he is live for a finish, especially in featherweight. Erbst is a bigger guy. He's gonna be draining down, and as this fight goes on, Pitbull, he's used to 5-rounders. I think he's really going to push a good pace over 3 rounds and get him out of there second or third round. And then we move into the main event. This is a pretty fire fight. And if you're not doing anything on New Year's Eve during the day, we're not getting into party hours, but throw this one on. See if you can find a stream, because this is extremely high level. We got Roberto Satoshi de Souza, the pride of Rizin at the moment, versus AJ McKee, one of the most notable fighters in Bellator. And AJ McKee, he's extremely well-rounded. I think he gets a little bit more flash on the feet, but on the ground, he is a threat, and he's always throwing up submissions. Roberto Satoshi de Souza, though, you have to avoid the ground with that dude, because you look at his record, it is first round submission, first round submission, first round submission, first round submission. I mean, going down the list, he's probably got 7 or 8 straight at this point. So I think, given that AJ McKee's never fought in a ring, it could give him some problems. I definitely don't think he's a lock, but I do think he gets it done, because I believe he'll be able to manage the grappling threat early. He's, like I said, very dangerous, very capable on the ground. And the longer that this fight goes, I see Satoshi de Souza gassing versus AJ McKee, who's proven to have a good gas tank. And I believe we'll finish this fight strong. I think AJ McKee by decision is a solid play here, but you could also put him in a parlay with Patricio Freire. I think that's a solid move. It comes out to about minus 135. But either way, insane fight. It's going to be close. It's going to be a good night of action. I definitely don't think Bellator is going to run away with this one, but you never know. A lot of people are expecting it. I think there will be good competition, good back and forth, and then I definitely think there will be a few controversial decisions if the Rizin guys make it close to the end. So that's what I'm going with. That's the breakdown for this card. I mean, if you're sitting there on New Year's Eve, nothing to do, turn on a stream, because there are going to be some bangers, and this is going to be the last big time action really until that January 14th UFC card. So that's what I'm going with. Those are my picks. I'm Goosey, and I'm checking out. Let's go.